Amy Corbett and Jamie Berard are the brickmasters on Fox's Emmy-nominated reality competition, Lego Masters. Season 3 kicks off this week, and I'm thrilled to have them here with me to give us the scoop. I'm Denton Davidson, senior editor for Gold Derby, and I want to start by asking each of you, how did your own Lego journey begin? You know, were you Lego kids at all, or how did you end up working with the Lego company? Amy, I'll start with you.
Starting from the really beginning, aren't you? Well, for me, like most kids, most families, we had the big bin of Lego bricks at home. So of course it was something that I played with in my childhood. It was something that brought my brother and I together, and something we could play with together, which I think is always really nice. But it was actually, I studied design in university. I studied design engineering. And while I was there, I kind of fell in love with toy design and creating toys. And that's where I started thinking, okay, if I want to design toys, where could I go? And that love of Lego bricks from childhood kind of came back in there. And I found myself at the Lego company, and that was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And then who knew that one day I would end up on a TV show? That certainly was not part of my plan, but it's certainly an exciting side effect.
I love how working at the Lego company was part of the plan, but somehow being on a TV show, that's absurd.
Well, I think it's confusing. I think people thought you were TV personalities that were sort of cast as these brickmasters, but you really are Lego employees. Jamie, how about you?
Yeah, we're toy designers by day and TV hosts by night, I guess.
Fascinating. Yeah. And Jamie, how about you?
I'm just a lifelong Lego fan, and so I'm one of those people that never outgrew building with Lego bricks. And when everybody else was outgrowing them, I inherited their Lego collections to the point that I started making crazy creations at Lego fan events. And we would get together in club meetings and things until eventually I started thinking, is this something you could actually do for a career? And the answer was no, because nobody around me knew how to get in. And so then I'm like, well, I got to do something practical. So I was a monorail pilot for Disney World. I studied to become a roller coaster designer, practical career moves, until I was at a Lego fan event and people from the Lego company came to visit, and they just started talking with me. And they're like, have you ever thought of working for the company? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't think you could actually do that. And they go, no, you can. Here's my business card. And that was my job interview. And then I ended up coming 3 months later to Denmark, and I've been here for 16 years now. Wow.
And who coined the term brickmaster? And what's the difference between a brickmaster and a Lego master?
I believe brickmasters kind of naturally came while we were filming our first episode, actually, in the US, because Judges is way too boring for a show where you're using toys to make incredible creations. And what's that? I think, well, brickmaster is the term we use for judges. So I think brickmaster is our Lego version of saying judges, and then our Lego masters are the competitors who win the competition.
Yeah, and then we would be master builders would be another term that you might have heard for Lego employees that build Lego models. And they can be anywhere from people that make the sculptures that you might see on display at a store at a Legoland park, or like us, where we make the products, the actual box sets that you could buy at your local toy store.
And what can we look forward to in season 3? Some exciting guests look like they're coming up. We saw Chris Pratt. Who else is coming up this season that we can look forward to?
Who else is coming?
Well, we have Jeff Gordon that plays a visit to the set, and it is just madness. He doesn't just show up and high five and leave. He trashes the place. And you're gonna love seeing how that unfolds. But then we also, we have Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt also has his guest Blue, which is a very special guest that I have to say was slightly terrifying. But then we also have real life astronauts. In the very first episode, you get introduced to multiple astronauts that help the builders along with their build. So some really inspiring real life people that are still doing things like going to the moon. And then you also have these amazing actors that stop by as well.
Pretty awesome.
And these contestants, they spend hours on these challenges. They pour their hearts and souls into it. It looks exhausting, but everyone sort of pushes through like a champ. How long does it take to film each of these challenges or episodes? What does a typical day of production look like?
Well, I mean, we're talking anything between 6 and 24 hours for a build. So it it takes quite a lot of time to film every episode because you've got the setup, you've got like explaining the rules. So yeah, it's long days for our builders. They work really, 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 really hard. And I think we're super proud of that, the fact that they can keep going with imaginative ideas, keep giving that energy, keep having the fun and smiling when they have such long days.
Yeah. But it's super intense as far as when they are on set, they're all go mode because you get that giant clock over your head. But then we somehow give them a lunch break, like, oh, everything's fine. And then they come back and the giant clock is still there. So I can't imagine that they could truly turn it off until the challenge is done. And then they start all over again the next day, and then they do another challenge. So somehow they keep their energy up. And I think it's kind of because everybody's in it together. You see the builders just feed off of each other and kind of have that enthusiasm and energy that they're all there together. They want to bring out the best in each other. And it's a very kind of opposite competition show in that regard, that they're not all trying to tear each other down to get to the top. They're actually like, I want all my friends to stay with me as long as possible because this is super cool.
Even though Will Arnett tries to push their button. Like last season, he really wanted those brothers to be rivals. I got to see the first episode of this season, and there's a couple Canadian teams he really wants to meet each other. So what's that like working with Will?
Oh, he's so much fun to work with. Anything you see on camera happens like tenfold in the background. So he's just always making us laugh, always ruining our takes, actually. He's such a joker in that sense. But I think he also brings so much to the show for the builders. I mean, he really is their cheerleader. When Jamie and I maybe go round and are like, are you sure this is the right direction? He's straight in there. He's giving them a pep talk. He's like, guys, you can do it. I believe in you. So I think he just brings that energy to the show that sometimes you need when they have long days and they're kind of losing their creative energy. Yeah.
And he's just an agent of chaos, but energy in such a fun way that it's not just the builders, what you see on camera, but it's also behind the camera. His best takes are when he makes the cameraman laugh. We have to like reshoot it because you can just hear everybody around laughing. But I also think, he is just one of those people that you don't know what you're going to expect. And when you have celebrity guests coming in, and they also are kind of in a new space. And then he's like, oh, I've got a new play friend. And then you see what unfolds. I think that's what even we are like, okay, we don't know what we're getting into right now. And you give a little bit of distance there, but it's so much fun when you see it unfold.
I'll just say you do not want to give Will a baseball bat. As soon as he has one in his hand, I am nervous of what's going to happen to any of the belts.
And things get emotional, not only for the contestants, but you two as well. Like when the eliminations happen, I mean, you're on the verge of tears sometimes. So what makes it so emotional? What about this show really like gets to the heart?
I mean, I think, as you said, they are long challenges. So we are spending a lot of time with these teams. We're getting to know them as people as well as builders. And I think we also just see how much it means to people to be on the show. Not just because they want to win the prize money, but maybe because they're getting to spend time with a family member or a friend that they don't see very often, and that they're going through something, really special and exciting, the chance to be on a TV show and do something they love. So I think there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that it just means so much to the teams that makes it really hard for us because they all just want to stay there till the end and play together.
But I don't think people can appreciate fully what it's like to be with somebody else and have to succeed in a challenge. Neither of you knew what was coming. And you have those moments of doubt. You have those moments of insecurity. What am I going to do here? And to see the teams come together, not only within a team and try to build each other up and say, we can figure this out, when you get exhausted, but we can do this. But it's also the other team members, like their competitors that are coming over and they're building them up. I mean, there's something really special about that when everybody's trying to get the best out of each other, for us to have to go through and say, this is an amazing build. It just happened. There's another build that was a little bit better. And then you send somebody home with the best build they may have ever made in their entire life. And you have to feel okay with that because we brought out, hopefully, the challenge or helped give them an environment to bring that forward so the world can see what they're capable of. And it just happened at that moment that it was their time to go, but you feel it because this was their best potentially. or it was a moment of weakness. And you just hope that everybody got to celebrate their best and see them as a full team, but you feel it when they leave.
Wow. Well, Lego Masters airs Wednesdays on Fox at 9 p.m. following The Masked Singer, and we'll look forward to watching the new season. Amy and Jamie, thank you for chatting with Gold Derby today.
Real
Thanks for
pleasure.
having us.
Thank you.